Good evening and welcome to PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It is Wednesday, May 10th, 2023, and we're still playing a bit of a waiting game. I'll go through the markets like usual, and I got something I want to show you. And then we'll look at the bullish percent indexes like always, and then I'll show you our automatic trading system results for the day. So something I've talked about before. This is the S&P 500, and I want to show it's pretty clear. And sometimes wave. It's not even wave theory. It's literally like waves. I don't want to get into Elliott wave because I don't even like it. Some people really are into it, but let's act like this is. I'm drawing a wave. So you could draw one here, and then up, and then down. You could pick a number down there, probably a low, and if that's not the low, it's close enough. And a high, and a low. You could even go to one of these and then come back up again, but let's just go to here, and then go like this, and then go down to a low. So that is one wave down, two waves up, three waves down, four waves up, five waves down, six wave up, seven wave down. So that's 7 waves, if you ask me. And it could be just, we could do this instead and keep it simpler. If I can get that to draw from there to there, that could be one. Then it's 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up, 5 down. So 5 or 7 waves. This is why I'm talking about it being like complicated. Neither one of those makes any difference to me. But knowing that waves happen like that is kind of what I'm getting at. So then let's go to here and go 1 from the low. And let's, you can make without up 1, down 2, up 3, down 4, up 5, down 6, up 7, down 8, up 9. Or you could go up to the major like that, and then you could go down to the major like that, and then go up to the next major like that. There's a point to all this. My big point's going to be, and actually you could even say, well, maybe that one wasn't done yet, and we want to go to here instead, which means this one's negated, remove, and go from that one to that one. I want to try to keep it simple, and sometimes you don't really know what's going on. I'm going to demonstrate that in a minute. So that's 1 up, 2 down, 3 being a big wave, 4 down, 5 up. You're going to figure out or find out that there's usually a nice wave 3, which is what I'm kind of getting at here. Trying to find it is where we're going. So let's go to the recent action here on the S&P. This is the high, down 1, up 2, and I am going to use that because it wasn't quite finished or figured out whether it was going lower yet or not. And we can call this down 3 before it bounced up to there, and down 4 before it reversed. So reason being, again, that third wave is nice to see if you can catch it, and it exceeds wave 1. And I'm sure somebody out there that really gets into waves could really tell me that I'm all wet, but I don't really care. All I'm looking for is like a high to a low to a lower high to a lower low to a lower high to a lower low. So, and being able to unwind that. So now we've got a situation over here that's been a low to a high from a high to a low, if it'll cooperate, and then from that low, I'm going to skip this one and go to this one. You can make of that what you want. Let's go to this low, go from that to that, go from this to this, and now we're in a, are we going higher to a lower high, or are we going higher from here to a higher high? Yeah, obviously I don't know. We can also do some other things. Triangle patterns. I'm not going to get into all that. But what I want to show you is like literally what we're going to run into now is if that's a lower low and that was a higher low, this ends up playing out to be where it's going to be a lower high and then it goes down. That's going to negate this buy signal that we got today. Or actually, it's a buy signal that we're getting for tomorrow. So I thought we had it today, and I think if we look at spiders, we do have it today. But we also had it a couple days ago. So I don't know which way this is going to go. It just actually, it's more like what I was talking about. It's when it goes, it's going to go a lot one direction or the other. Right now, the wave counts are sideways. Although we were going up before. If this thing's going to reverse from here, it sure still looks like it wants to go up. If this whole move is a wave 1, and now we've had it move down to a wave 2, then the next wave could exceed that wave to the upside. All I'm throwing that out there for is it's a potential. If this is a double top and we end up going lower, we're going to come down, probably fill in this whole wedge, this all the way back down to the lowest low back here of 313. So that's the potential here. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys that because when I talk about waves, I just kind of want to explain it. And right now I've got bullish signals on this. I actually went and long some spiders today on purpose because of this. I can always unwind if I get a negative, if this whole thing reverses. Just, if it reverses, it's going to reverse within a day, and it's the spiders. It's going to look at the range of these candles. It shouldn't get too out of whack. And I can survive if it's going to fall, is my point. I went long because I got a signal. All right, let's go through the rest. Here's the Russell. Oh, it's got a signal for tomorrow. Let's look at the IWM and see if it got a signal today. Because maybe that's what we're seeing is a little jump on the exchange traded funds. Nope, not yet. The Dow is still hanging out down there. It's still on bearish conditions on both time frames. So there you go. The NASDAQ is still up and still looking good. Actually, it's a squeeze fired along with bullish conditions on both the weekly and the daily time frames. And last but not least, oil. So also the reason I'm telling you a lot of this stuff is because obviously we're going mostly sideways. Actually the NASDAQ was up 1% today. So it's still leading the way to the upside, and that, it's good that something is, and we're not just falling away. So here's oil, and this is kind of what I talked about. We're in this zone over on the right hand side. We're probably going to fall from here because we're up against these moving averages. We've come down with a wave, up one or down one, up two, down three, up four. We're going to probably have a completion wave, something like that, where it's going to come down into this zone before it can go up, and that's going to end up being a higher low. That's what I'm looking for potentially, because we're in the lower reversal zone on the True Momo indicator, and otherwise this thing's going to fall down and maybe break through the both of these lows from the last couple months. And if that's the case, then we're going to see some much lower prices in oil, so, and energy as well, which I don't really expect. Alrighty, that was that. That's good enough. Bullish percent indexes. Let's go over here to stockcharts.com. Type in bullish. Here's the Dow didn't move today. The NYA, it's up by 0.25%. The transports didn't move today. The Nasdaq up by 1.12% today. The SPX down by 0.79% today. Added an extra O to the downside. It's mostly noise, even though it's interesting when the SPX itself is throwing a signal, or the SPY is throwing a signal. The SPX is actually throwing a negative thing here. The OEX minus 1.82% today. And then the NDX actually, I think, reversed up to the upside. So that's something. New column of X's today. That's probably going to prop the market up for a while. I mean, or at least, unless something happens with news and noise, which could get this thing to reverse if a bunch of people get bearish and negative all of a sudden. This normally doesn't reverse in a day or two. It takes, a week or so. And if you're getting some gusto behind it, you can actually get into a nice uptrend, and it can go for a while. I was going to show you some examples of that on this chart, but there's sometimes it's been in a column of X's or a column of O's for a month or so, or maybe even a couple months at a time. So anyways, that's that. And then my next thing is the automatic trading system. So I'm glad I could go pull up the old version of this, and I'm sure it went up today as well, but doing away with some of the noise, this is a nice trade situation today. That's the majority of our gains today. This is what it looks like on a 6-month basis. That's the Dow. The Russell put in a new equity peak today. So this is, for anybody that's not following along, this is our equity. It's not an actual trading of the chart. It's the results that we get. So in the quarter, based on the amount of contracts I'm running, we're in the neighborhood of $4,000 for the Russell. I just recalibrated this. I'm actually a lot more underwater than this, but if I'd have been running this whole way, just like this, we'd be up 17 grand for the quarter. I'm actually just barely up for the quarter, but going forward, this is a much better looking equity curve. This is what the Russell looks like on a 6-month basis, and what we're looking to do is get up above that. That's like 38,000 or something like that. Trying to get back up above that, and this is literally tracking our equity. That's all it is. And then this is our Nasdaq position, which was just doing great, rocketing up for a while. Now we've gone really sideways, and for the quarter, we're up over 30 grand, and for the 6 months, we're up over 70. So, and this one is my by far my, well, it's my favorite, but you know, it's starting to really like this one too, because it's not as bad a pullbacks. I just think this one, the Nasdaq's more consistent. That pullback right there is still tough to live through, and so is that one. So don't want to make light of that. Those are hard things to live through. But you got to trust the system, understand how they're built. They're built literally to take advantage of volatility and math, and that's what they're built behind. So, and the fact that this is 6 months worth of data, and I can open it up to 12 months worth of data, and it does nothing but more of the same. Yeah, that's really what's behind it. So, anyways, hope that helps everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time. We're still really kind of waiting this thing through. When it breaks, it's going to break well. Hopefully, we can pick up gains in our automatic trading and in our trading that we do by hand. You know, it's more like short-term investing. So that's what I got. Take care, guys. Have a great night.